I've been working in social media for like 15 years, so theoretically 15 years, but for the context of this and how I got momentum, I'd say I picked up momentum July 2020.
Wow. What made you want to start doing this kind of content?
I used to be an on-air personality for 103.7 KISS FM. And when the pandemic happened, a lot of people lost their jobs. And for me, I would go out and I would see something I wanted to mention on the air and think, let's write this down. But I didn't have anywhere to talk about it on air. So I was trying to figure out, where do I tell local stories? Where do I share things that I'm discovering in the city? And it wasn't immediate that I figured it out. But about 4 or 5 months later, I had a video go viral on TikTok and got 5.3 million views in a week. And I was like, there's something here. And it wasn't obvious even at that point. It took a good week or two until I was like, what if I did local content for locals? And that really took off and got me to where I am today.
What was that first video that went pretty viral?
Have you heard of the pirate barge?
Yes.
Yeah, not a lot of people have. So we went to the pirate barge on a day where the water levels were higher than normal, and to get there you go under a bridge. I've heard you can have it open, but we didn't do that. And we cleared it by like centimeters. And so that visually told a good story, but then we're talking about a pirate barge which had a lot of curiosity around it. And I did the trick of like, blow this up and I'll make a part 2. I had already gone on the barge. I was already planning on releasing it at like 1,000 views was what I was shooting for, let alone 1 million in 24 hours, 50,000 followers within a week. I was like, this is crazy. Here's the pirate barge, enjoy. Restaurants, places for pizza, for coffee, for burgers, basically anything that can have 5 items to it, I've tried to do it. There's certainly an abundance of options and lists. I've done 3 date ideas for a first date, for an active date, for your second date, for so many different ideas for that. And it's just basically providing ideas that people can go out and try.
Why did you want to do this type of content? I mean, here's the kind of things we have in the city, focused content for anything else.
Yeah, because I live here and I'm curious about it myself, but I think Milwaukee overall is an underrated city. We hear it all the time, we're the underdog, You can only be the underdog for so long, but at the time, I think Milwaukee had a PR problem, I think is the safe way to put it. And not to say it doesn't still, but I equate it to like mental health. If you think of yourself negatively all the time, you're only going to feel negative about yourself. But if you start looking at your life positively, your interpretation of yourself changes. That can be applied to the city. If you're only seeing the bad in the city, you're going to say, Milwaukee's an unsafe place to be. It's a bad area to be. But if you start seeing the positives too, you're like, wow, Milwaukee has a lot to offer. There's a lot to do in the city. I want to go out and do more. I live here and I stay in my little neighborhood. I don't venture out much. But that's out there, that's over here. I want to go experience it all.
On that note, what have you learned doing all these different videos?
There is so much going on in the city all the time. We're a very vibrant, very active city, and not just downtown. I know we're downtown right now, but you go to the south side, you go to the northwest side, there's stuff going on everywhere. There's new businesses opening everywhere. People have told me, they're like, you can't keep doing City of Milwaukee content, you're gonna run out of things. I think last year alone, from what made sense to put in content, should I do that, there's easily 100 new businesses in 2023. 50 of those were restaurants. So there's constantly things opening. Unfortunately, things are closing. So that means I have to update lists that had things that are no longer around. So there's always something to talk about.
Yeah,
I can go somewhere that you love and I have a bad experience, or I love a place that you don't like. And at the end of the day, I'm really trying to support local businesses. So if I start adding reviews to it, eventually I have to give a not so flattering review, and I never want to do that to a business. At the end of the day, I ordered it. If I ordered something else, I could have had a very different experience. So for me, it's about getting the businesses out there so that people, if they're like, I love pizza, I didn't know this pizza place existed, that should be enough for you to want to go check it out yourself and form your own opinion. We shouldn't be deterred from going somewhere because I said it wasn't great. And I know that if I said it was a good experience, people would be more intrigued, but not reviewing anything keeps it consistent.
Yeah, so you're just saying, this is this place, check it out, basically.
And I don't do ratings or rankings either, because that again is so subjective. And then if I'm truly doing the best that Milwaukee has to offer, then I'm only going to be featuring the same sort of businesses that are already getting that love and that feature, nothing against that, but what about the ones that don't have the word of mouth, that don't have that recognition, that would love to be in the spotlight a little bit too? We have so many businesses throughout the city that I just want to be able to give exposure to.